Hey guys, MysticEve here. I wanted to record a special video to introduce myself. Um, this video is very different than the others. It is cold in Georgia. I am not in Costa Rica at Center of Mystic Arts. I am on tour working in the United States. Also working on my YouTube channel. So I felt like I needed to do an introduction. I call myself Mystic Eve because I'm a mystic, and my name happens to be Eve. Um, I remember where and when I was reading about needing a brand or a label, and I laughed because I really liked it for one, and when you take the letters and it's M-E, it's me. It's me. I mean, you know. So that's always been a thing with all of my manifestations. Center of Mystic Arts is Coma. Mystic Arts Podcast is Map. Mystic Eve is me. So it is true. And it actually took my spiritual journals that are published on Amazon to reconvince myself of who and what I am. By revisiting these spiritual texts and typing them, I mean, I always knew I was writing them to publish or for somebody to read them, however that happened. Sometimes I would visualize my, children, long, like great, great, great grandchildren, finding them in an old attic in a trunk, that's been a vision. I didn't necessarily see, self publishing on Amazon, but everything works out in its own way, however, it does. I also didn't see how important these texts were going to be for me. To really convince myself of who and what I am. So I've always been highly empathic. I've always been a hermit. I've always understood animals better than humans. And for the most part, kind of stayed away from a lot of humans. I have social anxiety because I feel everything in a group setting. And growing up, I didn't really understand exactly what was going on. But as I read my journals, I realized that I understood a lot more than what I gave myself credit for. Now that I have devoted my life to practices that heighten these abilities, it's gotten crazier. So, one of the things I've also realized is the more I study esoteric science and alchemy and ancient astrology, the more I'm realizing that I'm just reminding myself of what I know. And it's not even a knowing, it's a feeling. It's absolutely carried in the feeling in water. in emotions. Um, and then it's like the alchemy is learning how to feel the water ignite the fire, and it turns into vapor, right? It turns into this sauna, and it gets trippy. um, I've also looked into why the ancient texts is talking about the secret, right? The secret, it's a secret, it's a secret, everything's a secret. And I've made jokes on other videos of it's not a secret anymore, it's out there. Like everybody knows it's time for it to come out. But at the same time, I really understand why there are certain teachings that should be held as carefully as you hold a secret. The water is very tumultuous. It's the word that I'm thinking. Um, and if you don't know how to swim through these waters, it's very dangerous. So it's important. I mean, as a gatekeeper, I have asked my guides, why is it important? And it's important because, like, if I let somebody pass, here, jump in these waters, see what you think, and they drown and they go fucking crazy, then I feel super duper bad, right? Like, I don't want that shit to happen. And through my experience with coma, I have seen negative. I mean, nobody's gone crazy, I hope. But there has been some negative results as far as people getting sick. You can get sick, you can get confused, scared, you know. And I mean, it's all a learning process, right? Like sometimes there does have to be a point where you have to jump in and see if you can swim through that kind of water or not, right? So there is that. Um, I I have read tarot cards since I figured out what they were. I mean, most of my spiritual texts from when I was 14 are tarot readings. I've always just had one specific deck that I like to use. And I don't really think I understood it then, but I understand now that, um, you know, you've got so many decks out there, and picking one that speaks to you in a way that you really understand. So like my first deck was in the Native American theme. Jamie Sams, I think her name was. Yes, Jamie Sams. Medicine cards, and now I use the bicycle deck, just playing deck. Um, and it's always been something that has intrigued me. And then when I it was my magic carpet deck that jumped at me at Walmart, like literally, like I was just running through the aisle and they were just like boom, and I just threw them. I literally just grabbed it and threw it in the cart and didn't know what they were until I spent some time with them. And it was very clear. Uh, these cards give me the numerology, the suits, the elements, and the royalty to read without having any other writers, artists' influence. Because divination is about being an empty vessel for information to come through. And anything that you're using for divination, whether it's a pendulum, bones, the I Ching, I remember throwing bones. Dude, I remember Atlantis. I remember being much, much taller. It's really interesting because, at Coma, we have the gender topic comes up a lot. And I have always felt gender fluid. But, I went through puberty before there was social media and even labels telling me what any of this was. But when I look into a mirror, it's not my gender that I feel disassociated with. That's always been like, I like being a woman. I kind of feel like I was a man more. And in my dreams, I'm usually a dude, it's whatever. But it's my height that really makes me feel like, what the fuck? Like, this is the body you give me? Like, I'm so short. I'm only like 5'1" if I stand up really tall. I'm like, really? Oh my God. I was doing this ceremony in San Juanillo and I was standing up on these rocks. And it was like this whoosh feeling of, this is how tall I used to be. Like, I was really tall. And then I'm like reading all of this about like giants in Atlantis, and I get, oh God, the feels. Like, even now talking about it, I'm getting like chill feelings all over my skin and my body. It's a lot. It's a lot for me. Like, I literally sometimes am too much for myself. Very intense. But moving along, and speaking of intensity and social media, why am I doing this? Why am I creating these YouTube channels? Why do I have a Center of Mystic Arts? Why have I written everything down from the beginning? I am connected with Thoth. I speak with him often. The ibis. I call myself a shaman because I know animals. I've studied shamanism since I was 14. I wrote about calling yourself a false shaman when I was 14, published in my first journal on Amazon. So I don't call myself a shaman lightly. I also don't say lightly that I rode in on Chiron. The asteroid that came in October 1977, the month and year I was born. And I have written in my journals visions of riding in on an asteroid. Or it was, and I still remember it, I was in like the crevice of the rock. It was like holding me and I was going through space. Anyway, I don't say this shit lightly. It freaks me the fuck out too, right? Like, seriously. And sometimes I wonder why I'm not on Gaia, but that's because I'm a hermit. And I have realized this medium, this social media medium, is through Uranus. When I really started getting into this, I started, like, Uranus just started talking to me. Um, and I've got some cute TikTok videos about, like, worshiping your ass is really important. My Uranus happens to be in Scorpio, and my rising sign is Scorpio. So I'm very much in alignment with this. You are watching on the other side of this screen, and I am able to teach alone in my little room in the house that used to belong to my grandmother, somewhere that I have come and gone and come and gone, and I can look up from the screen and see the clouds, which, I mean, it's no joke. It's no joke when you start really doing these esoteric practices and talking to the illuminated ones that are not of this planet. It gets trippy. You don't have to take hallucinogens. You don't have to take a substance to trip balls. It's true. So anything else? There is something also that I have felt very compelled numerous times to say. Because right now we're in this global awakening where people are waking up, and you've got, oh my God, you've got 1,000 people giving courses online. Dude, I could totally do that. Like, I'm like, why don't I have a course online, right? I There's a lot of people now that are doing life coaching and have online courses, which is something that I could totally do that I haven't really jumped into yet. But this idea that there's so many people out there that are doing this, which is wonderful. More of us are waking up. And the more I looked into this, the more I saw how beautiful it is, because for you to be able to heal, and if for you to receive guidance from another human, you have to like their vibration, right? You got to feel into them. If they make you feel uncomfortable, then it's probably not the person for you to learn from. If you're able to come in and feel, and people talk about twin flames all the time, your guru, to use that word, should feel like your twin flame. Now, I'm not talking about a guru in that you're going to be sitting in I'm not talking about like sitting in the audience just listening to the guru talk and being like, oh my God, that's my guru. I'm more interested in the deeper esoteric, ancient ceremonies, the ones that really help you live and experience multidimensionally. The practices that will send you off to speak with these ancient, illuminated energies that want to help us figure this shit out. Like, I mean, I don't know what the end result is, to change knowledge into wisdom, right? Is to change silver to gold. Like, it's the transformation of each individual soul that is the point. And how we live is the proof to others of who we are. I am also Libra, so I do have internal scales where I will see somebody who says they're a shaman and I will look at them. And I do have a very deep ability to weigh things without judging them. Used to be judgment before I really figured out how to use these scales. Of course, it's judgment. But at the same time, it's very much weighing, looking into something and seeing what it really is, right? And I do tend to see a lot of people that are saying they are teachers and shamans, and I'm like, yeah, well, I want to see how you live, how you spend your days, like, you know um and it's not to judge them, because we're all doing what we're called to do, but for me to feel like anybody knows what they're doing, it's important for me to see how they live and how they spend their lives. So I was going to make this a short video. It has seemed like it's becoming a bit longer than I was intending. And I did think about pulling a card. And since the magic carpet cards, which I usually don't use, are right in front of me, they are telling me that they want to say something. So if there was one card for my spirit guides to tell you who I am, whoa, I'm kind of nervous. I'm like, oh God, what are you going to say? Let's see what they're going to say. It's so cold that my hands are not able to shuffle the cards. Okay. One card that Jack of Diamonds. I knew it was going to be a Jack. This card is the kid with all the toys. The kid with the clubhouse. I mean, I do kind of have a clubhouse. I mean, I'm a minimalist, so I don't really have a lot of toys, but I do have a lot to offer. And I am a kid. I never grew up. I never let them do that to me. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. So, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully you enjoy my other videos. And until then, in love and light. And don't forget the loop. Ciao.